What's going on, Go Nation? I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to the Cosmic Wonder KINGPIN First Look Daredevil Born Again First. Plot details revealed? I forgot this show was coming out. I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen all of Daredevil on Netflix. I might need to watch that. But before we get into the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 100 subs. Let's see what God's been talking about.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have some really new, exciting details about not only KINGPIN in the MCU, but also Daredevil Born Again, as well as our first look at KINGPIN in some recent set photos that were released. Now, if you are not aware, Daredevil Born Again is currently filming right now, and we've seen many set photos of Charlie Cox returning to play the character Matt Murdock, and of course, we have seen him also in his Daredevil suit as well. And like I mentioned, today we get our first look at KINGPIN, Wilson Fisk. Now, he appeared in the MCU already in the Hawkeye series. If you did not watch that series, I suggest going back and watching it, because you are going to need to know what happened in that series to know what's going to be happening in not just one series, but multiple series, because KINGPIN is going to be a reoccurring big bad. And yes, you did hear me correctly. He is indeed going to be a big bad. And no, he's not going to be on the same level as Thanos or Kang or Ultron, but he is indeed going to be a big bad, and he is going to show up in several series. We saw him in Hawkeye, we are going to see him in the Echo series, and of course he is going to be the villain in the Daredevil Born Again series, where we see him face off against Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, once again, but this time in the MCU. So today we have some details about what to expect from Wilson Fisk, aka KINGPIN, in the MCU, as well as some info about a different side of the MCU. A different side that I think fans are actually going to be very, very excited about, and I think this news is coming at a really good time, as fans could definitely use some really good, exciting news right now. So let's go ahead and start with what Vincent D'Onofrio, the actor who plays KINGPIN, said in a recent interview with Newsweek. And the way he started off this interview is truly something. He said that the show might be different to what fans of the original series were expecting. However, this series is going to provide gigantic payoffs in both the first season and the second season. So right away, he has confirmed there is going to be a Daredevil Born Again season 2, which is huge news. But he actually goes on to say right away that both Charlie Cox and Jon Bernthal, who of course plays the Punisher, both play a major part of the show. Now, obviously, Daredevil plays a major part of the show. It's a show about him. But we have learned recently that the Punisher is going to be returning, and now, according to D'Onofrio, he is going to be playing a major role of the show, so not just a quick cameo in an episode or two, but a major role, so appearing in multiple episodes, which is great news because fans are super excited about his return, and perhaps Jessica Jones could make her return as well. That has been rumored for a while, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that ends up being true, just like the Punisher returning ends up being true. But D'Onofrio goes on to say some really, really great things in this interview. He says, "We've only just started shooting. I think we're a couple weeks in, and the show is going to be very, very different than the Netflix show. And it's so exciting because what we're doing is quite something. I think it's something that people are not going to expect, but always with these Marvel old comic stories that are being revisited and reinvented by us actors and the writers, the main thing is to answer the fans, to give them what they want, but try to be original in some way at the same time. And so that's what we're doing on the show. It's definitely an original way to look at this, and it's really deep, really emotional. And by the second season, there are gigantic, gigantic payoffs. In the first season too, but I can't say much about that. But the fans are gonna really get what they want. It's really quite cool to be doing it." So right away, we have the man himself, KINGPIN, telling us that this show is going to be different than what we saw on Netflix, but It's going to pay off in gigantic ways in the first season and the second season, and we thank him for confirming the second season. So I know most people were already super excited for the show, but I am now even more excited. And to address the first look, a lot of people are saying he looks too skinny. He doesn't look big enough. He's no longer wearing the fat suit, no longer has the shoulder pads on. And all I can really say is that I think this might go a little bit into the plot of the show and the other shows that he's going to appear in, like the Echo show, because we do know a little bit about the plot of Daredevil Born Again, and this could kind of tie into his character story arc, him being just a little bit slimmer. This is what we have recently learned about Kingpin's story arc in the new Daredevil Born Again series. Coming from the insider My Time to Shine Hello and the insider website mycosmiccircus.com, it is reported that Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, is going to be seeking a political seat in a few different shows, specifically the mayoral seat. So in these upcoming shows, Kingpin is going to seek to be the mayor of New York City, which is the perfect position to be in when you are a crime boss. That is a lot of power, which is exactly what Kingpin wants. And as I mentioned before, this is going to start kind of a new genre of the MCU that is going to be much more mature than anything that we've really gotten so far, with maybe the exception of Werewolf by Night. But here's what some insiders have recently said. In response to a tweet stating that perhaps Daredevil Born Again is taking place during the snap in 2020, My Time to Shine Hello said it's not. It's present day MCU with him running for mayor of NYC, giving us one confirmation of this, but then mycosmiccircus.com released an article about the same thing, but also giving us more information. And based off of what they said, apparently the MCU is starting its Dark Reign storyline. In their article, they say this. According to their sources, the rumors regarding Fisk seeking a political seat are true. However, this plot point will not occur only in one project and immediately be resolved in the same project. The storyline of Fisk seeking the mayoral seat of NYC will be explored in many projects directly, while potentially affecting other projects indirectly. One source has even specified that this storyline will mirror elements from the Dark Reign storyline from the comics. When asked for clarification, it is implied that the street-level stories of the MCU will be tackling more mature themes, similar to how Netflix approached the Daredevil and Jessica Jones series, respectively. They also specify that given how the Dark Reign story arc is one of the inspirations for the storyline, it is likely that at some point in time in Daredevil Born Again, Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, will succeed and be elected as the mayor of NYC. And I also believe that this is going to be true as well. And this is awesome to hear because I do think the MCU needs a little bit more mature content. I think that this is actually something people really loved about the Daredevil series on Netflix. And even when they announced that Daredevil was coming to the MCU getting his own series, everybody started to say it better be the same as the Netflix series. But what they meant was they hope it's as brutal and as mature. We don't want a watered down Daredevil. We don't want a watered down Kingpin. So basically they were saying that they want this to be a mature project. They want it to be violent. And it sounds like that is what we're getting, even though it is going to be different, which is good because different done correctly is great. And according to D'Onofrio, it is going to be quite something, to quote him. But here's something that I really love about this. The Marvel Netflix shows kind of created their own tiny little universe that connects, kind of like a tiny little MCU. Of course, you can never call anything on Netflix the MCU, but the whole Defenders universe. That was all really cool how it connected, and it seems like Marvel Studios is taking that and putting it in the MCU. In the show, we are going to have the Punisher. It's rumored that we are going to have Jessica Jones as well. And Kingpin is also going to appear in the Echo series, but Daredevil is also reportedly going to appear in that series as well. So it basically is showing us that we are going to be getting a street level story in the MCU that is going to be a bit more mature than the other stories that we've seen so far. And in this story, with all of the heroes that we have, the big bad of this street level story is going to be Kingpin, and it's confirmed he's going to appear in multiple different projects until he ultimately becomes the mayor of NYC, in which then we might get a little team up of heroes trying to take him down. And I want to assume that when all of these different characters team up and try to take down Kingpin and his organization, Spider-Man will be one of those characters. Now, Kevin Feige has already alluded that we are going to kind of get different parts of the MCU MCU. The street level Avengers team is one of them. He's already mentioned the street level several times. He's also mentioned the cosmic side, and he's also mentioned the supernatural side. So clearly there are big plans for each different, we'll call it kind of sector of the MCU. And right now it sounds like they have pretty big plans for the street level side. And imagine if we get a team of characters that consists of Daredevil, Spider-Man, possibly She-Hulk, Echo, Kate Bishop, The Punisher, Jessica Jones. And we have that team going up against Kingpin and possibly even the Sinister Six. We know that Spider-Man is going to get 3 more films, plus he is also supposed to get 3 more team-up films as well. So 3 solo films and 3 team-up films. Here's the thing, we know what all of them are going to be except for one of them. We have a new Spider-Man trilogy, so those are the solo films, and then of course we have the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. What's left is a team-up film. Well, it could be sort of a street-level Avengers team-up film where him and a bunch of other heroes take on Kingpin. Because Spider-Man right now is living in New York fighting crime. Well, if a huge crime boss is set up shop in New York and is about to run for mayor and eventually becomes mayor, that is definitely going to affect the story of Spider-Man. So I'm thinking that Spider-Man definitely at some point in the MCU is going to run into Kingpin. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that's when we get our Spider-Man interacting with Daredevil and other characters as well. This could be huge, and again, based off of what D'Onofrio said, it sounds like everything is going to be really, really great.
Yo, MCU is going crazy right now. You got Spider-Man going with Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I don't know who Jessica Jones is. I'm sorry, I don't know who Punisher is. I haven't seen any of those shows. I'm sorry. Yeah, but this sounds like very exciting, man. MCU's got a plan, and I like it. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a like and leave a comment or two. You already know what to do. I'm out.